At least she likes me.
She loves you.
What do you have to say about that? Tough critic.
You came in, you're like, I'm afraid of dogs. Look at
Here
you
we
now.
are. I'm actually really scared of big dogs, guys, so.
I'm not just helping you lose 64 pounds, but I'm curing your fear of dogs.
We're at 66 now, by the way.
66.
Yeah. Wait, no. 67.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but all of a sudden the past few weeks I've just been...
You don't know what's happening? You're doing it.
Yeah, true.
You're doing the right thing.
I'm being consistent. That's what's happening.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Ashley Miller, and this is my podcast, Bridging the Gap, from who you once were to who you are becoming. And honestly, I don't think that this could be a better episode to come back from a month or two long hiatus. Today is a very special topic, and I get to have a very special guest on my pod, Hailee.
Hey.
She is not only one of my clients that I've thankfully gotten really close to, and we vibe hella hard and live near each other. So she was so gracious to come on today's pod because honestly, with today's topic, she's a perfect example of what the whole integration process can even be like when you are going from one identity to the next. And it's not necessarily that you're leaving behind your old self completely, because that is not what this process is about. But when you are no longer aligned really with your old self or your old job or your current relationship that isn't as fulfilling as it could be, and the people you have around you, or just yourself, the relationship you have with yourself, integration, changing your life and adding new things in can be a lot for anyone. And that was my experience at the beginning of this year when I launched this podcast. So today, I kind of just want to start off by asking you a couple questions. Obviously, when it comes to what you were doing in your beginning stages of being a professional makeup artist and then taking off, essentially, because you've done really, really well for yourself, I can only imagine what that was probably like, going from one life to another where things are really busy, really chaotic. What was that process kind of like for you?
Well, even though I am super busy, it's actually kind of the opposite, and I almost like thank what I do full time now because it gave me a little bit more free time to focus on myself, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I first moved here, I like really had to work hard, and I worked like 3 jobs for the first like 5 years I think that I was here.
Three
And
job as in like makeup artist plus other
makeup,
things?
yeah, makeup. I was working at like a Mac counter, and then I was like a host at a few different like restaurants and stuff. And yeah, I had no time for myself. So I never integrated health and fitness with my life because I was so busy. And I think in my head, it was just like, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do that. And I would pour into everyone else and give everyone else my time. And because I needed to make money, I wanted to do this, and this, be a celebrity makeup artist, whatever. And I worked so hard that I put myself last.
Yeah.
And I really thank Bunny, who I'm with full time now, because I feel like I used to like take clients all the time and then also do her.
Okay.
And I would say about 2 years ago is when I retired fully from doing other clients. So, even though I'm with her full time and we are busy, I feel like I've had more downtime to focus on myself and really integrate my, health and fitness and really work on that this past year.
Yeah.
So it's actually been good for me.
It's actually more of a balance.
Yes. Way more balance than it was when I first started. But I almost like had to go through that to get to where I am now. So
no, I mean, honestly, and that makes sense because for my experience at the beginning of this year when I launched this podcast, on top of already having a pre-existing coaching business, obviously with the nutrition and the fitness, it was very eye-opening and very humbling. I took a big piece of humble pie. Like,
it's a lot.
it was like, It was crazy because I looked at the podcast as like, okay, this is my creative passion project. It's a podcast. Okay, this maybe needs to get posted once a week or once every
Mhm.
other week. But then I I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect, even though that's not realistic. But when you're putting yourself on social media, which I know you understand, the fear of being perceived on top of all of that too, going for a new venture where it's passionate, it's vulnerable, it's raw, and I'm used to educational, the same
Yeah.
things I've been doing for so long, diving deep and taking that leap of faith, which I knew I was meant to do, doing that, trying to think of one creative part of my brain and one logical part of my brain while battling fears inside of me at the same time. It was like, how on God's green earth do I keep this up? Because it was like anxiety attacks, panic attacks. But it was like, it got to the point where I was waking up, working, working all day, and then going to bed 3 4 in the morning, still had worked. And what you said really hit home, where you put everyone else before yourself.
Mhm.
And it was like one of those eye-opening things for me. It was one of those things that I preach to all my clients never to do, is to put
I think
everyone
that was, like,
else.
one of the first things you said to me when I met you, or
Yeah.
when we started working together, because that was last February, so it's been a little over a year, and I'm pretty sure that was, like, one of the first things you said, and you were like, "You need to put your health first because you can't take care of other people if you don't."
Yeah.
And something just, like, clicked in my brain, and I was like, "You are so right," and, like, I had been kind of doing that and stuff, like, but, like, not, like, consistently like I am now. I didn't change my life
Mhm.
like I am now.
Yeah.
Like, I would go on, like, diets, or, like, I lost, like, 40 pounds, I think, like, 6 years ago, and but I didn't stick with it because of some other health problems, and I just went right back into it, and I think it was because in my mind, I was on a diet,
Mhm.
and I think you installed in me that it's a lifestyle change, and I think that's what really, like, woke me up.
Yeah, I mean, look, we live growing up in the generation that we did, where we're surrounded by Arbonne, Weight Watchers.
Girl, I was on South Beach diet when I was in junior high.
Exactly.
What?
I was on Arbonne. I would watch my mom do it, and then I would do it.
Yeah, it was like Jello cottage cheese for lunch, and I'm like 12. Yeah,
The
like
things that we did in the early 2000s or whatever,
Slim Fast. What was the
horrifying.
other one? Weight Watchers, like all
Yes.
those. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Anytime.
my grandma would sign me up for Zumba classes too. And literally it's just me going through like puberty and hormones and stuff.
It's like your family can be so brutal
Oh,
during those
my
times.
first bullies.
Yeah.
Love them. Those are my first bullies. It's okay. They humbled me real quick.
Honestly, I have a client where, because I mean, I think I've told you a little bit about my rebrand of coaching, but I've just done coaching for years, and I've also done my own self-development healing journey of my own, and I have recognized how much of your nervous system plays a role in what you do, because you can have the perfect workout plan, you can have the perfect meal plan, you can have everything in between, but if you are at war with
Yeah.
yourself, you I'm not going to say it's impossible not to get out of your own way, but it makes it that much harder.
I think the mental
Yeah.
was the hardest part about all of this.
Yeah. So when you are basically out of the womb and you're a little kid, you're taking on a lot of what your parents tell you. You are taking on a lot of what's happening at school, what's on TV, and you're
Mhm.
kind of taking those things as definites, certainty. That's how it goes because that's what I've learned. And then when you
Mhm.
become an adult, you can start to think for yourself. But that is not always the easiest thing to do if you were never taught
Mhm.
how to process your emotions, how to regulate your nervous system, how to surpass those limiting beliefs and fears, because our parents weren't built with that
No.
knowledge. Unfortunately, they're human, they're living their life once too. But now we live in a day and age where we have a lot more at our fingertips.
Mhm.
And with my client that went through a lot as a kid with her grandmother being her biggest bully, it holds her back a lot of
Yeah,
getting
it's
things
the
done.
childhood trauma.
Yeah.
It but it's up to you to do something
Exactly.
with that. And
Exactly.
that's what I think I'm learning now. I think it's like as soon as I hit 30, it was like, all right. Like now I'm processing everything that I went through and I'm like trying to do the like
The
the
work.
mental side,
Yeah.
and that has helped the physical side so much.
Yeah, because I actually do remember at one point in the beginning stages of our coaching, I remember the going to the gym part and stuff like that was a little tough for
I
you.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the
I still don't like to go to the gym.
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
valid. It's valid. And what was it? What were the things in your brain? I guess I kind of want to dissect that a little bit. What do you feel was holding you
Holding
back
me
on like
back.
a nervous system internal blockage kind of thing?
I think it's just feeling like I'm being judged and like why is she in here? Even though I'm in here to better myself, like it's still that's always my first thoughts, you
Mhm.
know? So like I was like, "You know what? We'll just lose weight first with food and then once I lose weight, I'll get in the gym."
Yeah.
So that's what held me
A lot of
back
people
is
do
just
think like
the
that.
judgment
Yeah.
and not feeling so I'm the type of person like if I go once to a gym and I'm comfortable in that area and like, I know another thing, I just have bad anxiety. So like going in and not knowing where things are or like using a machine wrong,
Yeah.
like anxiety. So, I think it's just like me also getting comfortable in the environment that I'm in, and it's always that first time going that I dread.
Yeah.
But like after I get that first time in, then I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's getting that first time in has been the hardest.
100%.
And I tried with my trainer going to a very local gym that I found out was just like weights and stuff. There was no like cardio, anything like that. And that ended up in a very, very bad situation. I don't know if you saw me post about that, but
Oh, I do kind of think I
yeah,
remember
I
that.
basically got yelled at for bringing in a trainer. But like, that's exactly why there was nothing that said I couldn't bring her in. And that's exactly why I did bring her in so I could feel comfortable,
Yeah.
in there. And because I didn't know anything about the weights, like I just wanted her to show me like what to do and then I'm fine the rest of the time. I wouldn't ever need her again. And the guy was a complete asshole about it. It gave me anxiety and it made me not want to go to gyms for a minute. And
Yeah.
that was like probably last June or July. That was probably last July. But it messed me up mentally for a little bit, to be honest.
I'm actually so glad you're bringing that up because there was actually like a post I was going to make on social media where it was basically going to be dedicated to the girl who was never taught how or how to feel safe in a space that was meant to help her heal. Because
Mm,
the thing is, fitness, working out, moving your body, eating healthy, all that is something that is good for you overall, but with all of the attitude say that guy had with you instead of it being like a nice conversation where
mhm.
you can be like, hey, I totally respect that
Mhm.
that's what you want to do and that you want a trainer, but at this gym I
Yeah.
do want someone to purchase my trainers and
Yeah.
go about it in a respectful way that's not
If he would have done that, I would
yeah.
have been fine, but he didn't go about
Yeah.
it in that way, and that just like
That doesn't help anyone feel safe. That doesn't
no.
help anyone feel included. And
Mm-mm.
everyone deserves to feel like they are allowed to take up space.
Yeah. That was
It
my first time there too, so it's just like that right there is why some people don't wanna go to the gym.
exactly. Exactly. Because people have this entitled some people, I don't want to say all people because I do fitness for a living and I have
Yeah.
met some of the most incredible, amazing people that are in the health and wellness industry. Some of my favorite people that are just so kind. But I've also witnessed people who have a stick so far up their ass that
Mhm.
nothing's getting to them, you know?
Yeah.
But that is in, that's everywhere you go. There's going
Yeah.
to be like those people in every industry,
Mhm.
you know, whether that's music industry, makeup industry, there's going to be people that think their shit don't stink.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. It just sucks that it's in the most like one of the most vulnerable
uh-huh.
ones,
Yeah.
like where you're trying to better yourself.
Exactly. It's like going to therapy and then the
The
woman
therapist
being
is an
like,
asshole.
you know what? I'm good.
Another reason I don't go to therapy, and I probably should, but it's okay.
It-
I
you-
have my friends.
That's good. I will say I became like my own therapist unintentionally in 2020, like when I started my healing journey. I feel COVID, we were at home and our thoughts we're just we couldn't leave the house.
Yeah.
And it led to that, but that's honestly what led to my passion with the nervous system, because I know how good it can feel in terms of where I'm at now in my life, even though I'm not perfect. Obviously, shit hit the fan when I launched this podcast at the beginning of the year, but it showed me other areas of myself that I could work on, and that's okay to not fear that, but to
Mhm.
embrace it, because it's coming from a part of you that, instead of like attacking yourself and be like, God, like, I'm just always going to be like this, and I wish I could just do this better. And I've been so hypercritical most of my life. And I recognize in that point, if I want to do this, if I want to preach to women online to love themselves wholeheartedly in wherever they're at, I need to walk the walk
Mhm.
myself. And I thought I had. I thought I did that. And then, more challenges come up, but those challenges come to help build you and shape
Mhm.
you. And so, yeah,
But
but
I'm also glad that you can recognize that because then it shows you're human just like us.
hmm
And like, cause sometimes it's a little like intimidating if someone's like so perfect and so like got everything down. But like
yeah.
once you also just kind of like break that barrier and you're like, hey, like I struggle too. Like I'm just like you. That really helps people just kind of like breathe and be like, you know what? Okay, I feel safer, you know?
Yeah, actually, I totally get that too, because I've worked with coaches too in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it when I feel like I can relate to them. And I have noticed that, because my clientele is 90% of women with PCOS, I know that I have taken them on because of obviously consult calls where they're like, you have PCOS, you get it. And
That's literally why I came to you.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what added to my situation that made it worse for me in January. I have adrenal PCOS, so mine is like, stress is my
Same. Yeah.
own nightmare, and I'm inflamed.
Oh.
I'm not. When you said that you didn't, when we talked about us putting everyone else before ourselves, when I was running myself into the ground, I stopped going to the gym.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never went to the gym. When I was doing clients from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. straight, for one, I would never even schedule myself a break to eat um because I'd rather make money.
Mm,
And so my first meal, and I wouldn't ever eat like breakfast.
yeah.
Like, so my first meal would be like at 7 o'clock at night or like 8 o'clock. And I ruined my metabolism
Yeah.
by doing that. And I didn't realize that. And yeah, that messed me up for years.
I've dealt with that a lot with a lot of hairstylists I've worked with, because they're just on their feet going, going,
Yeah.
going. And it can be hard to break out of that habit, because, like, I mean, you get it. You've had your
Mm-hmm.
schedule the way that it is for so long. And then also, what I'll hear is, I'm just not hungry, like, in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. Like, this is how I've always been. And I have to challenge that with my clients, because
I know I
it,
still hate.
yeah, because it is one of those things where your body adapts to what you've been doing for so
Mm-hmm.
long, because
Yeah.
your body wants to survive. Number one, your body's built to survive. And if you're not feeding it, it's going to slow down the metabolism so that way it can keep up with what you're giving it in general.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it wants to keep you kicking,
Yeah.
But I know that it can be really confusing too, though, for women, where they're like, I barely eat, but I'm not losing weight. And
That's what I was like, I feel like I should be really skinny for how little I actually eat. But also like I wasn't eating the best because I wouldn't have any energy to like go home and cook a good meal.
mhm,
So I'd always like Uber eat something.
yeah.
And like I just never I wasn't educated also about like what foods were like spiking my insulin and the way like how I eat things like in a certain order
Mhm.
makes a difference. And then just like I'm so gung ho about walking 10 minutes after every meal too, and I've been doing that for a while now, and it's made the world of a difference. I remember like after almost every meal, like years ago, my stomach would hurt almost every meal. Like I would just feel like shit constantly, and I don't feel like that anymore.
That's
and
so
it's
good.
so great.
Yeah, that is so good. And I am glad that you are saying that because when you mentioned that you didn't have the education, I know that that can be one of the harder that's that's really what I mean with the integration process is because when I do take on people, and I'm glad I ate that big piece of humble pie at the beginning of the
Mm,
year, because it made me think about the fact of like, this is what my clients feel when they are taking on fitness and nutrition. And it's like, I knew that, but when I'm now living it, but in my own situation, I was like, okay, like I get it. Like, cause I stopped going to the gym, was barely eating. I was putting everything into my work, and I also wasn't putting much effort into relationships. I could see how it's from my own perspective, and I was glad that I could recognize that so that way now I can work with a better integration process
mhm.
for my clients because I it's overwhelming to take on all of that all at once. And I want also with the education part, I want them to understand, wanted you to understand the comprehension as to why you are eating the foods that you're eating
Mhm.
so that way you know what's happening inside of your body. Because otherwise, when you're just given a meal plan and you're like, "Hey, just eat this," you're like, "Okay," but
And I
like,
think that's what I was doing at the beginning because I still hadn't really integrated it yet. Like,
yeah,
it
a
took
minute.
me months to really get into it,
Yeah, and
for
that's fair
sure.
though, because I mean, that's actually a good question I wanted to ask is when it came to actually like kicking things
Locking in.
into gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know it took us a little bit of a minute, but that's fine. Everyone's journey is meant to be like that because you are meant to see what doesn't work versus what does. And then you're able to kind of catch yourself and be like, hey, if I don't fix this, I'm sitting in this position.
Mhm.
What was it for you that just clicked to get things into gear?
I think I was just kind of tired of, like, seeing myself. I would always see something different in photos in the mirror, and then I would, like, watch podcast clips back, or I would just see, like, me in videos that other people had taken, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Damn, is that really what I look like?" Like, I really have body dysmorphia, and I think I was tired of that. One thing that really made me lock in, I have a Patreon and I do like tutorials and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I would, edit them in CapCut. I would have to edit out my breaths.
Your breath.
Yes. Like I would just be out of breath just like sitting there doing the tutorial.
Oh,
And
okay.
in my head I'm like this is a fucking wake up call. Like I have to edit out my breaths because I'm out of breath just doing makeup.
Yeah.
And that right there really like opened my eyes. And I
Honestly,
was like,
that's
I'm
great that you
yeah.
recognize
And
that
I was
though.
like, I don't want to be like this anymore. Like I was just finally like tired of it. And now I have the resources. Like I have you now
Mm-hmm.
to help, like I wasn't as like busy with like clients all the time. So that really made me lock in and want to change that. And now I don't have to edit out breaths. So
Honestly,
that's a huge like that was a huge thing for me.
no, I mean, good for you for like recognizing that too, though, because so many people go through this life just kind of on what is it, cruise control. They're just
Mhm.
they're okay with sitting with where they're at, and that's fine. Like everyone is entitled to what they want in their life, but I am a firm believer that when it comes to living the best life you possibly can, physically feeling better isn't just about achieving, like, say, a body physique. Obviously, anyone wants that if they're
Mhm.
embarking on a fitness journey, but quality of life,
Yeah, even just the
literally.
mental feels better. Like, and I also remember like physically, like my like years ago, my knees would hurt like going upstairs. Like I'd have to like
Yeah.
literally like use the wall, like use the rail to go up my own stairs at my house. And now I'm literally like I run up them. Like
Yeah.
without even thinking about it. And I'm not like out of breath and stuff. So like those are like non-scale victories. Like some other things would be another wake up call I had was I was with my brother at Dollywood
Okay.
and I was in a ride, so like roller coasters. That gave me anxiety knowing like am I going to fit or not in a seat.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of things that some people don't have to think about. But
Yeah.
like as a bigger person, that's always at the front of your mind. And I was in a seat my seatbelt buckled, thank God, and I pulled the lap bar down, and it was probably, like, this much higher than my brother's, and there was what I thought bigger people than me on the ride, and this one girl spotted me out and was like, "No, it needs to go lower." And so the guy was, like, pushing as much as he could and, like,
Oh,
in front of everyone, made a scene, and they're like, "Nope, sorry, you can't. You'll have to get off." In front of everyone, I was holding up the ride, and so they had to unlock the bar for me to get out, and I had to unbuckle, and I was like, "I don't think I was going anywhere." And I literally that was the first ride we had went on that trip,
yeah.
and I literally went in the bathroom and had a panic attack, and it ruined my entire day. So, like,
Mm,
that was a wake-up call, and then also, like, fitting in airplane seats. Like, there's nothing more humbling than asking for a seatbelt extender, and so, like, now when I sit on a seat and I, like, tighten the belt, like, that's, like, such a huge, like, non-scale victory for me
yeah.
that I don't think a lot of people, like, really think about or, you know?
No, I mean, that's totally fair. And like, I'm sorry that you even had to go through that because that's just
I
like,
mean, I did it to myself. It's
hey, we
it's
love a
okay.
self aware
Yeah, I mean,
queen.
I can't
You
complain.
made your own
I did
choices.
it,
Yeah.
but I also fixed it. So,
Exactly. And like that is really a big thing that I talked about in one of my podcasts. It's basically time to wake up, like pay attention to the resistance in your life
mhm.
because that's what I mean by when people are on going through life with cruise control and they're cool with where they're at. However, things are not necessarily the best that it can be and they're complaining about it and they want things to turn into better and sometimes they're like why does this keep happening but like
They know the real reason,
they're
though.
not paying attention but some people just don't pay attention either.
I think in the back of their mind, they know the real reason.
Yeah, they're avoiding it.
They they're avoiding it though, because that was me. I didn't want to do anything about it. Like, I wanted it to be like a quick fix. I didn't want to have to put the work in. I didn't want to be uncomfortable.
Mhm.
I didn't want to change any of my habits, and like I had to in order to feel better.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And sometimes it does like even though it is unfortunate when like the resistance and stuff like that is like you're going through things like that. Obviously, the roller coaster, the everything, that's obviously extraordinarily uncomfortable. It can be that would be so hard on anyone's mental emotional.
Mhm.
Sometimes it does take hitting that wall to where you're
Yeah.
like, all
And but
right.
even that happening, I still didn't change.
Mm,
Like, it's still because that almost knocked me down more mentally. Like, I had to wait until I was, like, really ready.
okay.
So,
And that's fair. That is honestly fair. It does take it to that point where you're finally like, I need to take a leap of faith. It's just like
mhm.
now or never. I finally like
Yeah.
just need to do this.
Yeah, well, I was just like, I know what needs to be fixed for me to ultimately, like, be happy mentally,
Hmm.
and so I think that's literally when I decided to lock in and
Yeah.
really do it and not make it a diet or just, like, do this for a little bit so then I can feel good.
Hmm.
It was completely changing my life and
Yeah.
changing my habits and now it's like I don't even think twice about it. You know, like it had you have to do it for a while. And like I'm still not perfect with it,
Yeah.
like I was for a few months like really implementing 10,000 steps a day. And I literally put my Fitbit on for the first time in 2 weeks cuz I took 2 weeks off because, sometimes it gets like a little too much and I took a break and like but just having that mental strength that I know, okay, I'm gonna restart
Get back to
and
it.
I'm gonna get back to it. I'm not just gonna give up
Yeah.
forever. And I think if I was still where I was years ago, I wouldn't have gotten back to it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like honestly with how far you've come with all the experience you have under your belt now, which is why like a journey is a journey for a reason. You have to have all these experiences, the good, the bad, all of that. It's like tools in a tool belt where you become more equipped, you become more aware, you're able to make different choices and you start to trust yourself. It's like a big portion of loving yourself is trusting yourself. So if you have a pattern of in the past consistently not doing things or not finishing projects, going back on yourself and it's like this loop in your
Mhm.
life. That can be really hard to break. That goes back to the limiting beliefs, the fears, the nervous system because when you're living a life of disappointment for a long time, huge part of you doesn't trust yourself enough to follow through, which can be
Mhm.
why, say, you stop going to the gym for a week, you just are like, this is kind of what I always do.
Yep.
I'm just going to stay gone.
And I wouldn't go back.
Yeah. But healing the nervous system, part of that is showing yourself a different outcome, which is what you started to do over and
Mhm.
over and over again until things finally started to stick.
Yeah.
And that you're healing your way back home to yourself. You're showing yourself, this is not my, like, that was my old life and
Mhm.
this is now.
Well, even, like, when I didn't have you for a few months
Mhm.
and I was, like, plateaued and I stayed the same like, I, like, yo-yoed within the same range for literally, like, 4 months.
Mm.
And I was like, "Okay, I know what I need to do. I need to get her back. I need to lock in." Like, I was trying to figure out what it was, and then, like, it's almost like you also having you, like, holding me accountable, like, sometimes you can't do it by yourself, and it's
Yeah.
okay to ask for help, and I think having you holding me accountable and also having the internet holding you accountable, because
Yeah.
that's huge,
Yeah.
especially, like, the 10K steps, like, I have people that are like, "Ever since you started posting this, you've made me get my steps in," like, whatever, so, like, that right there is like, "Okay, I gotta keep going."
Mhm.
Like, it's okay to take breaks and stuff,
Of course.
like, you're human, but you gotta get back on it, and that's the same thing with having you. Like, I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, I gotta get back on it," and then I've lost, what, 20 pounds since I
Got back.
yes, I finally am I know everyone hits a plateau in their
Yeah.
weight loss, and I also think that probably happened to me 6 years ago, and another reason I gave up because I was like, "Oh, I'm doing all this work," but also, I don't think I had really, grasped the PCOS part, like, I knew I
Yeah.
had it, but, like, didn't know what to do about it, didn't do anything about it, like,
Mhm.
had no clue, and I don't think I was, like, eating what I needed to eat for PCOS,
Mhm.
and so I think just, like, knowing that, like, it made me go back to it because I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm smarter now."
Exactly. I love that you said that because yeah, you are smarter now. And I was literally saying this to myself the other day where cuz with me hopping back into this podcast, with me doing all these other new things that I've been prepping behind the scenes that nobody sees. You know, a lot is happening behind the scenes for
Mhm.
everyone if they're kind of like building say their empire,
Yeah.
right? It starts on the inside
Mhm.
and it starts with all these things behind the scenes that you're working on and for me, I had this like really big realization because I feel like my final boss has been my perfectionism is wanting knowing I know that my perfectionism comes from a place of knowing my capabilities, knowing what I'm capable of, knowing my creative side, knowing all the new things I know now. I'm
Mhm.
smarter, more equipped to do it. However, where it holds me back is being so consumed by that I will make something like this podcast. I have filmed the first episode 3 times already and I'm like nope, like it's not right.
Mm.
And I do take it also as a sign of like divine timing. Things will happen the way that they're meant to, but that has been my last like I don't want to say last cuz I'm not perfect, but it's getting over that and I've been learning neuroscience and learning about how the brain can heal itself and ways that you can help yourself not believe your own thoughts. And there is this term called metacognition. I don't want to butcher that. This is new
Should we
studies.
ask chat? Should we ask chat if that's how you say it?
Dude, Google pronunciation is like my homeboy. I be like
I
searching
just
things.
I just butcher it if I don't even care.
It's metacognition, and it's basically when you are super aware of your thoughts to the point when a negative thought comes into your head, you're able to take a step back and go inward because you don't want to go outward. You're able to go inward and look at it and recognize the nature of that thought, of maybe where that's coming from, what it is. You can name it too. I've called my negative thoughts, perfectionist Polly. And I'm like, I know who that is. I know where
Mhm.
that's coming from. And instead of letting that thought run on in my brain and create this narrative in your brain that you just believe that that is the certain truth, I'm like, hey, I know this is just me trying to protect myself because I don't want to fail. I know I'm capable of a lot or whatever, but I'm safe. And even if something now is like 70, 80% good, I'm going to post it
Yeah, I don't do
because
that.
what?
Maybe that's my next thing to work on.
Let me inspire you
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
because I just blame my negative thoughts on my period. I look at my app and I'm like, okay, I'm in my luteal phase. That makes sense then.
See, this is why I'm rebranding my coaching. It's because
Yeah.
I need to taking it a layer
Yeah,
deeper.
maybe we add that
We can
into the meal
definitely do
plan.
that. We can definitely add that into the meal plan
Yeah.
because it's true. It's one of those things where like you kind of honestly don't really recognize it either because when you're in a loop of things for so long, you kind of don't even realize you're in a loop.
Yeah.
You don't realize it until you are like, "Whoa!" Like I heard it in my head the other day. Break the pattern today, repeat the loop tomorrow, and I'm like,
Wait, what is that from?
I don't even know, but I
No, that's from a show. Do you know Mason?
break the pattern today, repeat the loop tomorrow.
No, stop. That's gonna bother me. I have to look it up now. Hang on.
It's literally what's going to be the next podcast.
It's
To
from like a scary movie, I think.
break the pattern today, repeat the loop tomorrow, and I'm like thinking of all the things that I hold myself back with, and I'm like, I'm breaking this loop today,
Yeah, no,
today,
that's
and that's why I want to help my clients with their with understanding because like I already teach my clients. I recognize I already teach my clients the science behind PCOS, so that way they can comprehend it. Now, why I've been studying neuroscience and neuroplasticity, I want to help them understand what's going on in their brain so that
mhm,
way they know this is why I think this way. This is why this has happened. This is how I can improve it, where you have the science way, but you also have the soul way. Because I'm a very deep person.
mhm,
You know that. I'm like a spiritual imperfect Christian, and I know that through my own healing is because a part of it is from my spirituality. It's having faith in something bigger than me to guide the way to help me in times of uncertainty. And but I had my own missing link of needing to know the science. And since studying the neuroscience and neuroplasticity, learning that there are people that have healed their own brain from like chronic illnesses, from
mhm,
chronic pain, and for a long time there, hundreds of years, scientists thought that the only the scientists thought that the brain would only decline, that you could not
mhm,
heal it on its own. Oh, it could not heal on its own. As you get older, that's how it goes. If it gets injured, it's done for. However, when neuroplasticity was, discovered that we actually could heal our brain, we learned that mental activity, so when you think thoughts, that's not just a product of the brain. Your brain doesn't just give you thoughts, but it's also the shaper of it. So you can literally reshape your brain by
wow.
changing the way that you think and getting really good at it.
I so my best friend, Mimi, she has helped me, because, like, I'll say something bad about myself, but, like, in a joking way, and she'll always be like, "Don't talk bad about yourself." She's like, "Don't say that about yourself,
Words are
whatever," and, like
powerful.
yes, and in my head, I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just joking. I'm just being funny." Like, I'm always, like, the comedic relief, so, like, I'm doing it in a joking way, but, like, I guess there is truth behind it too, and, like, sometimes I believe it, sometimes I don't, but because of her, I'm trying to be
But
better about that.
a lot of the time when you're using humor, it's a deflective.
Oh, for sure, that's my
So that's
childhood trauma.
exactly, it all goes back.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing. There's layers to why we do things. And
Mhm,
we don't realize that our subconscious is leading the way in more areas of our life than what we think. It's just kind of what we've taken on and why I even started my healing journey in 2020 because I didn't like who I was. And I knew that all the things I went through as a child was causing me to make decisions that I didn't like who I was because of that. And I mean, I'll just be real. Like, my dad cheated really bad on my mom
oh,
growing
welcome
up.
to the club.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom cheated real bad on my dad growing up. I'm sorry. My dad cheated real bad on my mom
Mhm.
growing up. And then
So
I
that
was
probably has an effect on your relationships too.
it was it's I was a horrible girlfriend in my first. serious relationship. I think I was numb to cheating. That
Mm.
it was like I was like, I'm
See, I just
young,
have trust
dumb, and
issues and I just don't date.
I mean, it's so weird because you'd think that would have been the effect on me. It
Mhm.
was more so I was like I was becoming my dad, where I was
Mm.
becoming more cold-hearted, and I was angry with the world because I didn't have a really great relationship with my family.
Mhm.
Me and my mom were super combative. We're so much better now because of like my healing
So
and
you have mom trauma
her
too?
healing. Yeah,
Okay.
I had everything under the sun growing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha there, yeah.
I was a rebel. I didn't listen to anyone. Like I did everything that I wanted when I wanted. When I was 17, I met a guy on Twitter, told my mom I was going to stay in Malibu for the weekend at a friend's, and I flew to Portland.
I think we've all lied to our parents about where we're actually gonna be
But flying to
for
Portland at
night.
17 years old,
Maybe
holy moly.
that
Met him on Twitter.
okay, how old was he? We
I actually that's a great question.
maybe we'll cut that out.
I think probably at least like 20 or
Got it, yeah.
yeah.
But, like,
He's a
no, I'm
good
not even
guy.
gonna get
I mean, we still follow each other. That sounds so
Oh,
bad. He was a good guy. He didn't
I
do
know,
anything
like,
wrong.
back then,
Like
it was like, "Oh my god, an older guy," like, so
no one like
no
really
one
thought
thought
about
about
it
it like
like
that, but now once you look back on it, you're like,
like
"He's a creep."
mm.
Shouldn't
I'm
happen,
like he
but
let a 17-year-old fly to him in Portland. And
did he at
so
least buy the ticket?
I don't remember. I think
Probably
so. He had to have.
okay,
There's no
good.
way. But I remember Googling, can you fly at 17 years old without a parent with you?
That should have been your first red flag.
Oh, I didn't care. It was like I was so far gone in the get me out of this house because I don't get along with my mom.
Mhm.
I wasn't really friends with my step siblings. Me and my stepdad weren't great. And then my dad was fuck wherever and playing poker somewhere in Vegas. And
Hmm.
I was like, I'm fending for myself. I'm living my life for myself. And that is why I care so much about the healing journey, is because while that is looked at as super broad, terrifying, because nobody wants to open the dark closet they've got stored away because it will cause an uplift of emotions that not a lot of us want to feel, which is understandable. But if I can even give a word of advice to anyone out there listening to this, as someone who has hated themselves to their core and a lot of times in my life, held a lot of insecurities, daddy issues to my core, mom issues to my core, all of that. When I took the time to heal and work through it and find the good and the bad too, because that's a big part of healing and what I want to teach my clients, I love myself more than I ever have. And I have a I just I believe that a lot of this has helped me become a better person, and
Mhm.
now I just see life in a different way now. I'm able to find the good and the bad more easily. I'm more positive. The sun is shining. You know, it's like it takes off a heavy dark weight in you. And you're when you do the hard thing too, it's just like starting your fitness journey. That's a hard thing. So it's like you do that hard thing, you do another hard thing. You're like I could do so much
Mhm.
now because I've done one of the hardest things that you can
Well, that
even
really
do.
shows it's just you in your own way.
Like I said, not perfect, but I had a client watch my first podcast episode and I got a 4-minute long voice message from her. It was so weird. It was like as if that podcast episode was made for her
Mhm.
because the story I talked about was in 2017 when hated myself, got my DUI. I wasn't around for when my grandmother was sick and passed away, and it was like my biggest regret in life. And she said 2017 was the worst year of her life, and that she wasn't around for her grandfather's passing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like verbatim the same thing. And then she said, she was like, it makes me think about if I had started my healing journey at the same time you did, how far I would be. If I had healed the way that you had healed, I would want to take everyone's hand and show them the way and take
Right.
them with
I
me.
think that's kinda what I'm doing for my mom right now, because
Really?
I really since I've gotten better with my own health and fitness, like, I wanna help my mom as well now,
Yeah.
and, like, I had a really good talk with her yesterday just about, like, implementing, 10-minute walking after you eat and, like, have you gotten your water in and, like, just things that you have taught me, but, like, I don't think I could have done that a year ago because I wasn't healed.
Mhm.
And, like, I still obviously have mom trauma, but, like, I have to realize that it's my mom's first time living.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, I think I really, like, I just needed to forgive her, and it wasn't her fault for things that happened, and, it's her first time going through life too, so, like, I'm just trying to give her grace
Yeah.
and help her as well because I don't think she has help, and it just reminds me of myself.
Yeah.
And so now it's just like, I think she needs me even though I didn't have her. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, I get that 100,000,000%
Mhm.
because now it's like I have helped my mom with her own health issues too. She's doing a lot on her own too, and I'm proud of her. It took her having a really serious health
That's
issue.
that's where I'm at now. It's trying to get her she's where I am a year ago.
Gotcha.
So I'm just like I'm like, time's gonna pass anyway.
Mhm.
Like, just try to make these
Because I
little
need you.
changes. Yeah, and, like but even, like, relationship-wise, I know that's probably the reason why she's not completely happy.
Yeah.
So, I know what worked for me to make me happier. So, I'm like, I'm trying to do the same for her.
That is one of the hardest things is when you know how good it can feel,
Yes.
but not everyone is ready to listen or wanting
But
to.
that's what I would hear from people when I didn't start my journey. I would hear people, like, "If I can do it, you can do it." I'm like, "I can't fucking do it."
Exactly. There's
Like,
that
it was
limiting
it was
belief.
always in my own head, and,
Mhm.
like, people would say that to me. They would just the same thing I'm saying to people now is what people would say to me. And you literally just have to make that first step, and you honestly can't, like, it's hard to do it alone.
Mhm.
Like, if I didn't have you, I really don't know if I could have done this alone.
That was something I had to realize before taking on Mason to help me with the podcast and other things. I've been so used to doing things on my own for so long.
We're
I'm a
very
control
hyper
freak.
independent. Are you a Taurus too?
I'm a Libra.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Libra and Aries rising. So
Mm,
yeah,
I don't know what that means,
it's
but
okay. I mean, that's a topic for
I
another
just know
day.
I'm a Taurus, and Tauruses are very independent and don't like to ask for help, and I had to do that, and I hate doing that, and I will
I
only do
know.
that in certain aspects of my life, but
It's one of those things where like sometimes you do have to learn that like it's okay to ask for help, but
yes.
it's really hard when you like things done a certain way. You're fearful that someone's not going to get that. You hate having to explain it. You're like, if I just do it,
Mhm.
I know it can get done a
I
better
know.
way. And yeah, I got to a point where I'm like, I cannot do this alone. If I do this alone, I'm gonna tank.
Mhm.
I'm gonna drown. And I had to be more open to taking help in other areas of my life too, whether it's like I've had coaches before, but also my next thing was business because
Mhm.
I had to really get real with myself. I'm like, if I want what I want, if I have these goals that I know I'm meant to have, it's gonna take a team. It's gonna take more than just me doing this.
Mhm.
And I didn't even think I was gonna have a guest on my podcast when I first did this. I'm like, who am I gonna talk to?
Me.
You. Thank you. Anyways, I appreciate you so much for coming on today. This has been such an incredible episode. I think there was a reason why the first 3 attempts didn't work out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's okay. You
It
just needed me.
I just needed to crash out first and then come
It's
here.
okay. But you
So
didn't give up, and I'm proud of you.
exactly. That's the whole journey of going from
Mhm.
who you once were to who you're becoming. You don't give up. There was a part of me, I'll just be honest before we end this, where I was like, do I tell them that to do another time? Like,
No.
yes. I was like, no, this
Yeah,
has
I
to
was like,
happen
and
now.
that's, like, a thing I've also done too, like,
Self sabotage. It's self sabotage. It's
yeah,
thinking that you're
like,
not
not
ready.
not doing it and then, like, never rescheduling.
Exactly.
I do that a lot.
Exactly. And
And, yeah, we were just like, "Nope, we're gonna do it," like,
mm-hmm. Because
when I
also
say I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it.
you're a busy person. He's a busy person. This was the only day of the month that he could even
Of
do
the
this.
month?
Yeah, of the month. It's
Mason, what do you do?
he's a videographer for music festivals and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's busy, 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 and I was like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot. So
We made it work.
yeah, because I'm not gonna go back to that same place I was at the beginning of the year. Not self sabotaging anymore.
Mm-mm.
Screw that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that this helped you in any way, shape, or form, whether this is with your fitness and nutrition, whether this is with your dream business and integrating that into your already very busy, very chaotic life. Take care of yourself. Know that the journey doesn't have to be miserable. Have fun in the in between too, because you're going to be working so much on yourself, whether that is in very big ways or very small steps. Find things that make you feel like you're not just surviving, but that you're living, because that is what's going to help the journey and taking the pressure off of you, which I wish I had known at the time, but that's more of what I'm going to talk about too. So, with that said, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Okay.
Yeah. It's so
Thank
good.
you. I
Does this
appreciate
look like I have an ankle monitor?
it.
I realized that halfway through.
I don't think so. No, it doesn't look like an ankle monitor.
All right.
That could add
Look
to the
at my
story, though.
sock.